Now next application of Gauss law is electric field due to thick sheet of charge. Electric field due to thick sheet of charge. Now thick sheet of charge is represented basically by like this. Now because of this sheet, the electric field at a point is calculated. Here there will be charge distribution. Here there will be charge distribution. So here at this point, electric field due to this surface is, let this surface is 1, let this surface is 2. We already discussed the electric field due to a sheet of charge is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. So therefore electric field here due to these two sheets will be in this direction only, because these two are positive. So I can write net electric field E is equal to E1 plus E2. Therefore E is equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught plus sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Therefore the net electric field due to thick sheet of charge can be written as sigma by epsilon naught. So this is a way that we can discuss the electric field due to thick sheet of charge. Next application of Gauss law, that is electric field due to a charged sheet. Let us consider a charged sheet like this. Electric field due to charged sheet. The electric field due to the charged sheet. Let us see, there is a sheet of charge. How to find out the electric field due to the charged sheet? Consider a small area. Okay, let this area is S. Okay, let the charge of the sheet is Q. Let the charge density is sigma. Consider a small area like this and extend it like this. Now due to this part, the electric field, this is an aerial vector like this. This is an aerial vector like this. Here the electric field due to this positive charge will be away. That is, electric field would be like this here. Electric field would be like this here. So this is a direction of electric field and these are the aerial vectors. Okay. And now here if you consider upon this curved surface, so this curved surface will be like this. This electric field will be like this here and aerial vector will be like this. So here the electric field strength due to this charged sheet can be written as, by applying the Gauss law, closed line integral of, here I say E bar dot ds bar plus closed line E bar dot ds bar plus, here for this surface the angle between E bar and ds bar is 90 degrees. So we can write 0, which will be equal to charge enclosed by epsilon naught. So we can write it entire charge enclosed by epsilon naught. So E into ds, E is constant. Due to this, Es plus Es, which will be equal to Q by epsilon naught. 2 Es is equal to Q by epsilon naught. E is equal to Q by 2 epsilon naught S. We know that the charge per unit area is surface charge density. Charge per unit area is surface charge density. Therefore, I can write this as E is equal to charge per unit area is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is a way that we can find out the electric field due to a charged surface. Charged sheet of charge. Okay. Now we will see electric field due to a non-conducting solid sphere. non-conducting solid sphere. Electric field due to a non-conducting uniformly charged sphere. Uniformly charged sphere. Now I would like to give a small differentiation between a conducting and non-conducting body. Suppose if I take a conducting body, okay, for this conducting body, if I place some charge inside, from here to here, inside, this excess charge placed inside on each and every layer of the solid sphere, which is conducting, the charge cannot stay inside. Why? Because this conducting material has large number of free electrons. These free electrons move the excess charge upon to the surface, making the net electric field inside zero. Suppose if it is non-conducting, let us discuss this is non-conducting solid sphere. So there will be so many number of layers. Suppose up to this layers, I'll fill the charge. There is no way possibility for this excess charge placed upon each and every layer of the non-conducting sphere to come out of the surface or to move from that point, because the non-conducting materials where they have less number of free electrons, that is why there is no possibility for this excess charge to move from one point to another point. If there are more number of free electrons, these free electrons move the charge, that is excess charge. There are no free electrons in these non-conducting materials, that is the reason wherever you place an excess charge upon the surface, it will stay there. There is no possibility that that excess charge can move from one point to another point. That is the main difference between conducting and non-conducting materials. Conducting, if you place inside, it will move out because of the free electrons, where these free electrons move the excess charge onto the surface, making the net electric field inside zero. But for non-conducting material, number of conducting electrons are very less. That is the reason wherever you place an excess charge, the charge remains there as it is. That is the difference between conducting and non-conducting. Now let us see the electric field due to a non-conducting uniformly charged sphere. Consider this is a uniformly charged non-conducting sphere. Let the charge density of this solid sphere is rho is equal to total charge, I am assuming it as Q, by total volume is V. The charge density of this solid sphere is Q by V. Since it is uniformly charged, for small element also the density remains the same. Now I am taking a small element whose thickness is dr, whose distance of the small element is r. Now the electric field inside the sphere, at a distance r less than r. What is the charge enclosed by this small element? Let us see. Q by 4 by 3 pi r cube. So r radius enclosing charge 4 by 3 pi r cubed, which will be equal to Q dash by 4 by 3 pi r cube, where Q dash is the charge enclosed by this small element. Q by 4 by 3 pi r cubed is the total charge enclosed by the total volume, which will be equal to rho. I already told you it is uniformly charged, so therefore the density remains same for every element as well as the entire sphere. Now I will write these two, the charge enclosed by this small elemental area. So Q dash is equal to rho into 4 by 3 pi r cubed. Now applying the Gauss law to find out the electric field inside the solid sphere. So closed line integral of E bar dot ds bar is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. Now at this point, at every point at a distance r, the electric field remains constant. E ds cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. So then I can write integral of ds, which is equal to the charge enclosed is Q dash by epsilon naught. So E into the surface area of this sphere 4 pi small r square, which will be equal to, what is the charge enclosed here? Rho by rho into 4 by 3 pi r cubed by epsilon naught. 4 pi cancel, r square r cubed get cancelled. So E is equal to rho, balance is 1r, y, this 3 will come down, 3 epsilon naught. This is the electric field inside the solid sphere at a distance r. So this electric field inside is directly proportional to r. Now let us see electric field on the surface of the sphere. Electric field on the surface. Now electric field on the surface means, this is the sphere, this is enclosing the charge, this is the radius r, the charge enclosed by it is q. Now if I draw a Gaussian surface just exactly upon the surface like this, we know that E is equal to rho r by 3 epsilon naught. Now r is equal to r. We want the electric field due to this sphere upon the surface. R is equal to r. Electric field on the surface is equal to rho into r is replaced by capital R by 3 epsilon naught. This is the electric field due to this solid sphere upon the surface. Okay? We can also write in such a way, this entire charge is assumed to be at the center, and the electric field due to this charge at the center at a distance r equal to radius of the sphere will be the same. Like this you will get it. So ES is equal to electric field upon the surface is equal to rho r by 3 epsilon naught. Let us see electric field outside the surface. 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 Now this is the charge. This is the charge q. This is radius r. Now I will draw a Gaussian surface at a distance r outside the solid sphere. Now at every point at a distance r, the electric field due to this solid sphere will remain constant. Now by applying Gauss law, see, closed line integral of E bar dot ds bar is equal to the total charge enclosed is q by epsilon naught. This surface is enclosing the total charge q. So the total charge enclosed is q by epsilon naught. Now at every point at a distance r outside the solid sphere, the electric field remains constant. So E closed line integral of ds, which will be equal to q by epsilon naught. So E into this can be written as 4 pi r square is equal to q by epsilon naught. E outside the surface is q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So this is the electric field outside the surface. This electric field outside is inversely proportional to r square. Electric field outside the surface is inversely proportional to r square. So this is a way that we can find out the electric field due to a non-conducting uniformly charged sphere at different points inside outside and on the surface. Okay, now we will see the graphs related to uniform charged shell as well as solid sphere. I will draw side by side for these two. I will give a checklist like this is a shell, radius r. This is a solid sphere, non-conducting. Here I will write E inside is equal to 0, E on the surface is equal to kq by r square, E outside is equal to kq by small r square. For a solid sphere, this is solid non-conducting. This is E inside is equal to rho r by 3 epsilon naught, E outside, E on the surface is equal to rho r by 3 epsilon naught, E outside is kq by r square. So you can write this charge in terms of density also, then you can find out the electric field outside in terms of density also. These are the concepts of electric field that we have discussed for conducting shell as well as non-conducting solid sphere. Now if we draw the graphs for this one and this one, how they vary with respect to the distance. This is electric field here, so distance here, up to r is equal to r, the electric field is 0. Up to r is equal to r, electric field is 0. Here, up to here, r is equal to r, electric field is 0, and outside, beyond r, that is r is equal to r, the electric field is varying inversely proportional to r square. So it will be like this. So this is maximum. If we draw it for a solid non-conducting sphere, how the electric field vary with distance? How the electric field vary with distance? Then, so up to r is equal to r, r is equal to r, the electric field is directly proportional to r. So electric field is directly proportional to r, and on the surface it is maximum, and from r is equal to r outside to any point, it will be like this. E is inversely proportional to r square. These are the two graphs that we can draw for a conducting shell as well as non-conducting sphere. Let us discuss some applications of Gauss law. Applications of Gauss law. I already said that the Gauss law is used to find out electric field strength due to symmetrical distributions. Now we will see how to find out electric field due to symmetrical distributions like solid sphere, hollow sphere, cylinder, and sheet of charge like that. So first one is electric field due to conducting shell. Now what we are going to discuss is electric field due to a conducting shell using Gauss law. Now this electric field due to conducting shell is same for electric field due to non-conducting shell as well as solid conducting sphere. Now let us see how to calculate the electric field. Consider a spherical shell which is uniformly charged. Whose radius is r. Let the charge present on this shell is q. Now we will see at different points what would be the electric field due to this conducting shell. Let us go inside the shell. at a distance r. Inside the shell at a distance r. R is less than r. That is inside the shell. Inside the shell. Now, if I apply Gauss law, Gauss equation is given by E bar dot ds bar is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. This is what we know. Now, the charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface, which is drawn inside the shell at a distance r, which is less than the radius of the shell. The charge enclosed by this is 0. So therefore, the electric field is equal to 0 by epsilon naught, which is equal to 0. This we can write it as E into integral of ds, okay, which is equal to 0. So therefore, the electric field at any point inside the shell is equal to 0. Let us see the electric field on the surface. Now, this is the shell, which is of charge q. Now I draw a Gaussian surface just enclosing the shell at a distance r. Just enclosing the shell at a distance r. Now this Gaussian surface is completely enclosing this charge. Therefore, now from Gauss law we can write closed line integral of E bar dot ds bar is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught. Now for this, what I do is, this charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface is just assumed at the center of the shell. At the center of the shell. That is, now it is at the center of the shell and a distance r, I am finding out the field. This we know that E is equal to kq by r square. Now we will see here. Now this is a surface through which the entire charge is assumed at the center and the flux is moving like this. E bar, ds bar is also like this. The angle between E bar and ds bar is 0. So therefore, I will write closed line integral of E ds cos 0 is 1, which is equal to the total charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface just exactly drawn upon the surface is q by epsilon naught. This E I will bring out because at the distance r it is same everywhere, it is constant everywhere. So I will write E closed line integral of ds, the total surface area of this spherical shell is 4 pi r square, which is equal to q by epsilon naught. Now the electric field on the surface can be written as q by 4 pi epsilon naught into r square. So this is the electric field on the surface of the shell. Now let us see at any point outside the shell. Now we have discussed this, r is equal to r on the surface. Now outside the shell, outside the shell, that is r greater than capital R. Now this is the shell which is enclosing the charge plus q. Now I draw a Gaussian surface around the shell like this at a distance r, which is greater than capital R, which is greater than capital R. Now this is r greater than capital R. Now I will write the Gauss law, E bar dot ds bar is equal to q by q enclosed by epsilon naught. This Gaussian surface is enclosing the entire charge plus q. Now the charge enclosed is plus q only. Now this can be written as E closed line integral of ds is equal to q by epsilon naught. Therefore E closed line integral of ds is total surface area s q by epsilon naught. So E is equal to, what is this surface area of the Gaussian surface? 4 pi into r square is equal to q by epsilon naught. Therefore the electric field is given by, outside is given by q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Now this is a way that we can find out the electric field strength due to a conducting shell inside r less than r, on the surface r equal to r, and outside the surface at any point.